So, welcome to my first English tutorial. I will try to do that with every tutorial I do, meaning, so I'm a native German speaker, and so usually I've been uploading my tutorials in German, but I will try to do for each tutorial also an English version. I will also re-record the ones I already did because I don't think they were perfect. They were nearly as good as I could be. So I'm gonna re-record these, and I'm gonna record also the English versions of that right now. I am going back to my latest video, and you saw in the intro what I'm gonna show you, what you can learn. I think many already figured out how it's done. It's fairly simple, I think. Simple to figure out for a magician, of course. But let's dive right into I picked the 8 of Hearts for no reason. It was just the card I thought. Yeah. So I want to start by... So, if you want to present it the way I did it in the video, you need a bigger deck. But of course you don't have to. There are many hundred ways of representing that. You can do it with a normal deck of cards. You can do it with writing a prediction whatsoever. You can do however you like it. This is just a simple idea. Of course you don't have to do that. I mean, who the hell carries a jumbo size deck with them, right? So we're gonna pick one card. I picked the 8 of Hearts. I'm gonna put it looking up somewhere here in the deck. I'm gonna go over an impromptu version later in this video. However, I'm gonna start with the basic. So, what you wanna have is the other 8 of Hearts of this deck now. I will put it on the bottom for several reasons. For now, I'll put it on the bottom so that I can now shuffle the deck. And I basically can shuffle it to the top by at the end, just picking the one card. So I have here one card left, which is the 8 of Hearts. I'll put it on top. It's fairly simple. Now you can riffle shuffle, and you want to make sure that the right package drops last, so that you have several cards on top, meaning the 8 of Hearts is also here, right? You can now push it in, you can do the bridge, whatever you like to. I'm just gonna go over it again, even though I don't think I have to. I'm gonna put the 8 of Hearts this time looking up so we can really follow it, right? So I'm gonna shuffle and make sure that I at the end have only one card left on my right hand and put it on top. And then I'm gonna do riffle shuffle, and you see it's on top. Of course the spectator shouldn't see it. Now the spectator can deal cards to the table, and you want to make sure that he deals the top card first, because I see some people when I tell them to deal cards, they do this. Of course you don't want to have this. If you want to perform is this way. I will give you another version of this in the second part of the video, which is more impromptu, but the participant is more free to do what he wants. So, but for this version you want to make sure that he drops the card first. So you want to just say, okay, deal cards one by one, the table. Then you can say, okay, yeah, actually you can deal more cards. You can deal cards from the middle. You just want to make sure that at the end the 8 of Hearts is on the bottom. So actually, no, I'm gonna go over this. Was thinking about doing a version with a Greek deal, but no. But one version now would be to transfer the bottom card into something like this. I think it's a lateral palm. You can also then transfer it to a Tenkai palm, as you see here. I'm gonna go over this. So when you pick up the mass, like it's basically a mass. You want to pick up the mass with the right hand, and then you want to transfer it to the left hand. While you transfer it to the left hand, you want to push the card on the bottom to the right into the clip of your ring and the little finger. So I've now got it clipped here, And now what I would use as a justification to come over here again, something I personally do a lot, is to just turn the deck around, right? And he could, the nice thing about this is the spectator himself could then pick up the first card and reveal it actually. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to transfer the card to here. Another thing you could do, if you wiggle around with the deck a bit, you gesture, so the deck gets a bit, you know, not as clean. So you can come over here and basically just clean it up, square everything up nicely. And now the 8 of hearts is basically put on top. So if we go from here, you know, I just want to come over, square everything up. And now the spectator can deal the card that he dealt to. Another thing you could do is the bottom deal. Of course, that is less freely for the spectator, but I think it looks a bit cleaner if you do it right. That was a mistake, the bottom deal. Why was it a mistake? Because there's something you want to avoid, which is letting these fingers open. So when you bottom deal, I push over one card and my ring and little finger go here to the side and push back the bottom card. Now I can grab with my middle and index finger, I can grab here between, or I could grab here between. It's whatever you like. I personally like to grab between the little and the ring finger, so I can grab here. My thumb grabs the card on the top. And now when I take the card, I basically pull back the top card, so I'm now left dealing the bottom card. And when I do this, I also turn around the package, so it looks more fluid when I turn around the package. I'm gonna do this with the 8 of hearts face up. So I deal. Let's do it like this. So 10 of clubs face up, and now you can show. You can then turn around the card, of course, and be turned around, turn with the face down when you deal it. And I can turn it around and you can reveal your 8 of hearts right somewhere in here. It has to be where. Yes. So that's what you can do. I'm gonna leave this on top because, you know, we don't do much. I'm actually gonna put this away because you know the presentation, so don't have to go over this. And you know, that was actually the basic version. Fairly simple, you know. You just wanna, again, I'm gonna show it again. Just to recap, 8 of hearts is on bottom. Whatever card you pick, it doesn't have to be the 8 of hearts. But it has to be the same card as here, of course, or a brother card like the 8 of diamonds in this case. But yeah, however, you want to shuffle the 8 of hearts to the top, right? It's now here on top. You might want to do a river shuffle. Of course, these are all things you don't have to do. I'm just gonna, you can also do the running cut, whatever you like. Feel free to add. So basically, the 8 of hearts is now on top. I'm gonna sooner or later talk about the thing you could do now, but I would heavily lead back from, you know, not say you should do this. And this would be second dealing, which looks like this. I wouldn't do this simply because that is again you dealing, but I think the magic in it is the spectator or the participant to deal the cards. So you don't want a second deal. I mean, I wouldn't prefer to second deal. I would prefer to let the spectator deal. If you want to second deal, that's your thing, of course. But again, this is a topic I will go into later next year because I'm not satisfied with my second dealing and I don't want to teach something I myself can't do properly. So, but yeah, it's planned for next year. I think one about, I'm not going to say any dates because I don't want to be bound to promises I can't keep. However, you have the 8 of hearts now on top, the spectator deals, yeah. And what you do now is you could basically, you know, you have the card clipped. I know you see it because I want to expose it a bit so you can see what I'm doing again. So you can square everything up and he can pick the card on top, or you want to make a bottom deal like this. Another thing, if you have a new deck, you could, a way to put this card on top would be by transferring it into a Tenkai palm. Therefore, to curl your fingers a bit more in, and then, you know, it will basically, wow, why is it not working? Come on. So you will basically can have it in a Tenkai palm then, and then you could do something that's called the, I think it's called the fan change, but it can also be used as a control. Personally, I wouldn't do this if I have these few cards. If I have more cards like here, I could do it. So basically do this and control it to the top. So what I do is, it's quite obvious, I think. I'm gonna do this again, but I have it here in a Tenkai palm. So you see, when I have it in a Tenkai palm, here you can see there's this corner. I can grab that with my thumb, and now I can do a fan. Of course, you should use fresher cards for that. So now I'm gonna go into a more detailed explanation on how to do it more freely for the participant, which is a bit more difficult, but worth it. So this technique and this way of doing it uses a gambler's cup, and there are of course multiple ways to get into a gambler's cup. I'm going to show one I like. Basically, I gesture with my left hand, I come over with my right hand, and I have now the card in the gambler's cup without the deck really touching my hand, right? Sorry. So what I do, I have a break underneath the bottom card. No, not under, but over the bottom card, meaning I have here, this is the 8 of hearts. And when I come over, I basically drop it into a gambler's cup and have it now cupped. Yeah, of course you want to be careful with the angles, but gonna go over the gambler's cup another time again with a more intricate and more detailed tutorial. So what you want to do, you can also do a simpler way or easier way to get into a gambler's cup. It's by having the cards like here. You want to get a break underneath this, over the card you want to cup, and you can just come, oops, with the right hand you can just come over, and then you have the card here in the gambler's cup. So we have the card in the gambler's cup. You can move your hand quite freely. I wouldn't point too much attention to this hand, but also not too less. With too less, I mean don't be stiff with the hand. So use it, use it to point at stuff. Of course, you see here the card now. So use it to point at stuff, or to, if you're here, you can grab the package. So you can basically come over, you can grab the package like this, and you still have the card here in Gambler's cup. But I'm gonna talk about this a bit later. So I'm gonna go do this again. So you're now here in the gambler's cup, 8 of hearts cupped. Now the spectator, I'm gonna put this down, can shuffle the deck however he wants to. He's really 100% free to shuffle the cards however he wants to, right? He can now deal cards to the table like this. He can deal cards to the middle, from the middle, and he can now even decide which pile he wants to take. So I'm now here, actually, the card in the gambler's cup. He can now decide which pile to take. Now if he takes this, I would not hesitate to go over with the left hand to just grab it, because this is the easiest way of telling the spectator, I have nothing in my hands. So of course you have to be careful with that. Now the way to just load it to the bottom would be just go up with it and basically go down again. That would be a fairly simple version. Another way would be to just dribble the cards. So now you see that, I might do a dribble like this. You might want to do not that nasty, but a bit less out of control, the dribble to your hands. So you see, you have here now cards, you have here card in Gambler's cup, and this is okay to be seen, of course, just like every other card. it's not, you know, not sticking out too much, so you can just then, you can basically grab everything, and the card is now at the bottom. So, if he then chooses for this, like of course you can't go over here and just pick it, he sees the card, so just take the package and load the card onto the bottom. There's not more to that. From here on you can do whatever you want to, like you can do this, and you can reroll the card, you can do a bottom deal. It's really up to you. Another way would use also the Tenkai palm or this palm, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So when you have the 8 of hearts right here, you want to have it in a palm like this, or in a Tenkai palm, right? So you can also move your hand a bit more. Of course, be careful how open you show your hands. Of course, you can't show it like this, but you can move your hand quite freely with a Tenkai palm. Now you can even shuffle the deck like this. You can do quite a lot with the card in a Tenkai palm without being seen, right? So again, you have now here the card in a Tenkai palm. The spectator deals cards, or he, you know, lifts the deck. And now if you're in this position and the spectator wants to pick the card from here, that's a beautiful thing you can do. You could basically just go with the hand over here, grab this deck. So you want to grab this deck and say, okay, you could have chosen any card from this pile as well, but you've chosen this card. Now what I just did, it's fairly simple, I think. So you have here card and a Tenkai palm. I'm going to show it from here so you really see what's going on. And when I go over, you see what's happening. It's basically lined up with the deck. So when I go over, I just drop it, pick the deck, and say, okay, you could have chosen any card from this pile as well, but you've chosen this. The beautiful thing of this is you don't ever touch that pile. You don't touch it. You never touch it. So and the spectator can freely just turn over the card, which I think is quite a beautiful thing. But if you're not in the position, you're in a Tenkai palm now. There's again this card frame control you could do. Just, you know, you want to have the card in this, first you want to have, the pile in this grip. You want to get your thumb over here, right? So you have it in this grip now, it looks like this. You might still want to cover this side a bit, and then you want to make sure that they can't see the card, so to work on your angles. And then you want to, you know, do a fan, right? It doesn't work with these cards anymore because they're quite stiffy and quite used. So it is quite beautiful. It can also be used as a, you know, as a card change, right? So what you might want to do, yeah, this, it could be used as a color change. But I personally like it more as a card control. So, and again, so you are here in this position in the Tenkai palm, or if you decide to go to this palm, you can just square it up. And so there are multiple ways of putting the card on top then, or on the bottom. And which could also use, which is nothing I will teach now, is the classic palm. I won't teach it now, because I can't do it. But you know, this is the thing for next year. I'm currently getting into palming cards and all that, so next year there will come a bit more stuff. Also, a funny idea, if you have the 8 of hearts on top, you could also do something like, so a false card, and then you want to copy the card from the top. It still looks a bit nasty when I do it, but you know, it's a fun little idea, I think. I'm not going to teach this now, because, yeah, another day. This would be too much for this video. So now we will get into the next version, which is basically impromptu. So, you know, for these tricks I showed you now, you have to set up this. But I'm not going to go into how to do it without a huge setup or any setup at all. So for this, I'm going to take this back. And for this, the spectator can shuffle the cards. and depending on which version you want to do. Now you want to peek this card, the bottom card. I would do it by just, you know, grabbing the deck to shuffle, and I can look down just for a brief moment. Don't stare at it, just look down for a brief moment and then look up to the spectator again, or to the participant, and shuffle the cards. You then want to control the cards to the top or to the bottom, depending on which version you want to do. So, bottom, top, explained it in the first chapter. Now we're gonna go to the bottom, right? So you want to shuffle, and when you have only a couple of cards left, you just want to put. Wow, that didn't work. Great. Now you just want to put it back to the bottom, because so like this. Now it's still on the bottom. It's fairly simple, I think. Of course, you could do whatever difficult sleight of hand control you want to use here, but I don't see a need for this. If you can just put it to the bottom again. It's not that visible, and even if it is visible, the spectator doesn't really care, I think. Now you just want to say, okay, I'm gonna make a prediction. So you now want to look for the card that you just saw on the bottom, which is there. Oh wait, another thing. If you don't want to pick the card, you could just shuffle, square here everything up, so you can now look at the card here. You can look here at the card. Don't see it from here, but I know from where I see it, I can see it on the top. It is the 3 of hearts, right? You want to square everything up. So now I have to look for the 3 of hearts. Okay, just pretend I did 3 of hearts. Go into this. I'm just gonna say, okay, I'm gonna make a prediction, right? Do with this. Now, if the card that you choose is on bottom, you can copy it and let the spectator do whatever they want. You can get it into a Tenkai palm like this, or you could also just put it on top and let the spectator deal the card and then do a bottom deal. So whatever way you wanna use to perform this trick, I personally would recommend to, if you're good enough, if you're brave enough. I wouldn't say good enough, because most of it is, I think, about, you know, being confident about it. So I would just cop the hell out of the card, or Tenkai palm. Usually when I'm on the table, I use a Tenkai palm. When I stand, I use a gambler's cop. This is, I don't know why. Just do it. Something a habit I developed, I think. So again, you have now the 3 of hearts in a gambler's cop, and from here on, it's basically what I told you in the other videos. The spectator can, I'm just gonna do it briefly. So can deal any amount of cards, and he can decide which pile. Also here, you might want to use your hand to point, right? Don't be too afraid of letting the card stick out too much. Because even if it happens for just a tiny bit, I know you see it big, but you're a magician, right? So you look at this stuff. The participant usually looks at what you point, especially if you point with this hand, because they might look at this hand, but not this, because for them it's fairly obvious that the card is, and that the hand is empty, because you point, you use it, right? So you might want to point with the hand and be like, okay, so which pile you want to take, right? Now let's say he chooses this one. I grab it like this. I do a dribble, or I just square it up. From here on, I can do a bottom deal. I can transfer it into this kind of lateral palm. I can put it on top, and he can turn it over. So this is then up to you what way you use. I've just now shown you a couple of ways to do it. Of course, like I said, you don't have to use this deck. You can use whatever you like. So you can write a prediction, you can write whatever you like, right? So yeah, that was my first English tutorial. I hope you can understand it, because I don't know, but if you do, great. If you don't, then I will work on that, of course. And yeah, if you have any comments, anything to add, just leave a comment. Feel free to rant or hate as well. I really don't. I mean, I do care about criticism, but yeah, I think you know what I mean. However, I hope you liked my first English tutorial on this channel. There's more to come where this came from. Lots of things on my mind. Something that is similar to this when it comes to the technique, but it uses a complete different presentation, because you do it with 2 participants, and I think it's quite difficult actually. But I'm gonna go into this sooner or later. Also, thank you for 12 followers on YouTube, which is, for me, it's quite a lot. I mean, I don't do much videos because, you know, I can't do much videos if I want to, you know, take care of the quality of the content. Yeah, I know that my videos might be a bit too long to start with YouTube. I know you might want to do shorter videos, but the thing is, I want to teach as detailed and as much as I can, because I don't think you should start with anything less than that. I mean, I could have just, you know, stayed with the basic version, but I don't want to do this because there was so much more to talk about. So this is why I will keep doing longer videos, I think, because, like I said, I want to yeah, I want to show you multiple ways of one trick, or yeah. So there we go. I hope you liked it. Peace. See ya.